business for Prime Minister Tony Abbott. He returns from his China trade delegation, carrying with him 3 trade agreements. As Asia is fast becoming one of the most important trade partners for Australia, just how are small businesses being affected, and will they be able to get a slice of the cake? Well, Sky Business reporter Donna Sawyer put the question to Craig West, newly appointed chairman of the SME Association of Australia.
As the world opens up internationally to more and more trade, for major corporates and large listed companies, they've been dealing offshore for many, many years. For most small businesses, though, this is a new market, and I think it can only be encouraging that we're taking steps to move into those markets and open up trade with those markets for the majority of business owners in Australia.
So how do SMEs position themselves to capitalise on these opportunities?
I think the first thing is you need to be aware that these opportunities exist, and that as an SME you can participate in them as much as a large listed corporate. It's not about having a presence necessarily overseas, but it is about having a website, having the information available to people offshore that need to contact you, and being available to opportunities and having a look at how we might benefit from these opportunities.
You say there are many high net worth individuals from foreign nations looking to invest in SMEs in Australia. So how do SME owners go about connecting with these people? What are the first steps?
Yeah, look, I think really as an SME business owner you probably need someone. We work very closely with a company called Think Global, who specialise in dealing with the intricacies of culture, the differences in lifestyle and business environment. When you're dealing with offshore investors, obviously things are very different to dealing with someone who is in Melbourne versus Sydney. When you're dealing with someone in Asia, China, wherever they are, then there's obviously going to be lots of differences, and I think having an intermediary who's experienced in that area, who's experienced in the ways that those investments can take place will certainly help. And that doesn't necessarily need to be massively expensive or complicated. I just think that you need to have someone who's got some experience in that area.
So Craig, what are you telling SME owners who are banking on selling their businesses to fund their retirement? What do they need to know?
Well, look, there's a couple of key things. The first thing they need to know is that it's not as easy as it once used to be to just walk away from a business, sell it and retire with the capital. Businesses need to be well prepared. There are plenty of buyers in the marketplace today for small to medium businesses, but they're a lot fussier than what they used to be. And so therefore, you need to have a well prepared business. Now the key to doing that is obviously starting early. Don't wait until you're 64 years and 9 months old and you want to retire in 3 months and then think about exiting. The longer you prepare your business and your staff and your customers for an exit, the better the result will be.
Craig, you're fairly new in the job at the SME Association of Australia, and I understand a number of changes have come about recently, including a new director. So just wondering what update you can give us on what's been happening since you've joined.
Yeah, I can. Look, I've been involved in the association. My business, Succession Plus, has been a long-term sponsor and supporter of the association. I'm pretty passionate about what they're trying to do, and that's simply to help SMEs be more successful. I think if we've got more successful SMEs in Australia, we're going to have a more successful economy generally. The changes that have taken place really aren't any significant change in operation or direction. It's really about injecting some new people. We've had a number of new directors come onto the board, all of whom are well known, involved and interested in small business already, and we'll be making some more announcements about that in the next couple of days. But the basic premise is there's a large number of small to medium business owners in Australia who feel, I guess, in a lot of cases unsupported. They're not sure who to talk to, they're not sure where to go for help, they're not sure who's actually advocating or representing them to government. There's been a lot of talk from all different levels of government recently about helping small business, but unfortunately most of the small business owners that we talk to are saying just that. There's a lot of talk. They haven't actually seen a lot of action. So part of my role now is to talk to government about what can we actually do in terms of action to help business owners.
So what's next for your organisation? What are your priorities over the next few months?
Our priorities are to grow membership and to attract new sponsors. We've got a number of long-term loyal sponsors already in the organisation. Obviously, to do the sort of work that we're doing requires funding, and we've got some good sponsors on board already, and we're talking to some more about coming on to help us with that. We're looking at growing members. There's nearly 2 million small to medium businesses in Australia, and our membership is obviously nowhere near 2 million, so obviously we'd like to grow our membership base. We're also launching a number of different initiatives which include a resource library of of both articles, video and audio recordings for small businesses to access when they need help. Also, I think one of the things for small business, most small business owners are keen to grow their sales, keen to grow their client base, and I think we can play an active role in introducing them to people who can help them do that, whether that be direct clients or whether it be people who can refer them direct clients.
And that is all we have time for on this edition of Small Business. More news and analysis coming up next.